What's up, everyone? Welcome to week 2 of Letters to Leaders. If this is your first time joining us, we are in a brand new series called Letters to Leaders, which is simply a series to encourage you that you are a leader. You're a leader in your sports teams, in your classrooms, in your family. You are a leader, and we hope to inspire you and to give you advice from the Bible to help you be the best leader you possibly can be. And so last week we talked about just having that realization that you are a leader, that you don't need a title to be a leader. You are a leader wherever you are, wherever God placed you. And so we are all going to have our unique ways of being a leader. Again, as Christians, like really being a leader is at the root of being a Christian, right? As Christians, we are called to lead people to Jesus, to invite people to experience who Jesus is. And so we're all going to have our own unique ways of being a leader. Some of us may be good at speaking, so we may be speaking on stages. Or if we're good at social media, we may be using our social media platform to lead people to Jesus, right? If we have a passion, we may use our passions to lead people to Jesus. We're all going to have our own different ways of being leaders. But I truly believe that we all have this one universal way that we can lead people to Jesus and really be leaders in our community. And it's simply this: to be a good example of a Christian. Someone say example. Example, right. The way we can lead people, the way we all can lead people to Christ is simply the way we live our life. If you look at 1 Timothy 4:12, it says this: "Don't let anyone think less of you because you are young. Be an example to all believers in what you say, in the way you live, in your love, your faith, and your purity." I love this scripture because it really starts off with the most important part that I feel a lot of us gets discouraged about, and that is our age. Like we think, oh man, no, I can't lead people because I'm like only 4th grade, or I can't lead people, I'm just still in high school, right? But I love how the scripture starts off with, hey, doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter if you're young, you are still an example. And again, people will be watching what we do as Christians. And so let's be good examples. Someone say good. All right, that's the key part, right? We have to be good examples of a Christian. And in 1 Timothy it says we can be good examples in our love, in our faith, in what we say, right? We have to be good examples, right? We don't want to be bad examples, because if we're bad examples, then we're not going to be leading people to Christ. We're going to be possibly pushing them away from even getting to know who Jesus is. And so we want to be good examples, right? And it's very simple. Just how are you speaking to people? How are you acting when people are watching you, right? How's your faith? Are you actually praying to God daily? Are you actually reading the Bible? Right? Are you going to church? Are you going to youth ministry? Right? Are you being a good example? Right? The key, and I'm going to drill it into your head, is to be a good example. A good example of a Christian. Because when we live our lives to the best of our abilities as a Christian, people are going to take notice of it, and they're going to be like, you know what? Like, what does AJ have that I don't? Oh, this God? Okay, let me learn about this God, because I wanna have what he's having, because he's always happy, he's always positive, right? That's how we're gonna really attract people, and that's how we're gonna lead people without even realizing that we're leading people to Christ. Be a good example of a Christian. And I want to give you this last point, but it's really just an add-on to being a good example. And this is just a good mindset to have, to really help us make sure that we're always being a good example of a Christian, and always making sure that we're representing God to the best of our ability. And it helped me when I was younger, and it still helps me today. And it's this: it's wear your Jesus jersey. Someone shout out Jesus jersey. All right, a little bit of a tongue twister. Jesus jersey. Yes, wear your Jesus jersey. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Well, if you guys ever played a sport, most sports has some sort of uniform, some sort of jersey, right? Football players has jerseys, basketball players has jerseys, baseball players, they all have jerseys. And let me show you, if you don't know how a jersey looks, let me show you using an example of my boy Kobe Bryant. If you look at his jersey, right, you can see that in front on his chest it says Lakers, which is his team that he's playing for, and then on the back of his jersey there's his name, the player's name. It says Bryant, right? So on the front of his jersey, you see Lakers is who he's representing, and then on the back of his jersey is who he is. And so if you didn't know who Kobe Bryant was, and you saw him walking towards you with his jersey on, the first thing you would notice would be Lakers. You would see who he represents first. You wouldn't see his name because the name is in the back. You would see who Kobe represents. You see, okay, he plays for the Lakers. And then only until you get close enough or until he turns around, you see, oh, Bryant. Okay, that's his name, Bryant. All right? Now, some of you guys see where I'm going with this, right? Imagine if we all had a Jesus jersey, right? As Christians, we had a Jesus jersey on. That on our jersey, it would say Jesus in the front, right? Who we represent, and then our name in the back. All right? This is a great way to help you and to remind you to always be a good example of a Christian. And it's this, having a Jesus jersey, that when people see you, you know you're being a good example of a Christian if they see Jesus, if they see who you represent before they see who you are, right? Imagine if you had like a symbolic jersey on, that when you interact with people, when you talk to them, when the way you treat people, they're going to see who you represent before they see who you are. They're going to see Jesus through you. All right? And that's really just a great mindset to have to help you remember, hey, I got to be a good example of a Christian because people are watching me, all right? And I want to make sure I'm leading people to Christ, not pushing them away. And I remember, okay, this Jesus jersey, that I know I'm being a good example of a Christian when people can see Jesus first before they even see me. That they see who I represent before they even know who I am. All right, let's wear our Jesus jersey. Someone say Jesus jersey. Yes, Jesus jersey. I really want us to remember to wear our Jesus jerseys. Now I want to end off with a story where I felt that I was wearing my Jesus jersey. It was back in high school. It was after school, so I was waiting for my mom to pick me up. I was by the benches, hanging out with my friends, and then this teacher who wasn't one of my teachers called me over. She was like, "Excuse me." She pointed at me, and then she waved me over. And I'm like, "I don't know who you are. I don't know how you know me." And so I'm kind of panicking, like I kind of second guessing myself, like, did I do something wrong? Like, I'm pretty sure like I didn't cheat on a test. I didn't cause any trouble. Like, so I'm like, why did you want to talk to me? I'm kind of scared, so I'm like, hey, teacher, like, yes. And for privacy reasons, I'm gonna name my friend Teresa. And so anyways, I went up to his teacher, and she said, "Oh, you're friends with Teresa, right?" And I said, "Oh, yes." And she goes, "Well, I'm not sure if you know, but Teresa's parents recently just got a divorce." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And she's like, "Yes, Teresa's parents got a divorce." And I've been asking her like how she's been doing, and she says fine, and she says good, but you never really know if that's the truth. We don't know how she's feeling on the inside. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's true." They're like, "Yes, well, I just knew that you were friends with her, and I know that you're a Christian, that you're a person of faith, because of the Christian club that you lead, and just like the way I see you talking to your friends. But I was just wondering, because you're a person of faith, just keep her in your prayers. Because again, I don't know how she's feeling, but can you just keep her in your prayers because I feel like she needs it. It's a tough time. Divorce is a stressful season in anyone's life. So if you can just really pray for her, just keep her, just keep her in your protection." And I'm like, "Of course, like yes, like for sure, like yes, I'll gladly do that." So "Oh yeah, thank you, really appreciate it. Like I said, sorry, like I just came up to you, but I just knew who you were, and I just wanted to just let you know, just to pray for him." "Oh yeah, anytime, of course." I said, "All right, thank you." And so she begins to walk away, and I begin to walk back to my friends, and she turns around and goes, "Oh wait, I'm sorry, what was your name?" I was like, "Oh, first of all, I didn't even know she didn't know my name." I was like, "Oh, it's Logan." "Okay, cool, thank you, Logan." She walks away. And in that moment, I really just got that image of the Jesus jersey. That this teacher knew who I represented, knew that I was a Christian, knew that I was someone of faith, but she didn't even know my name. That she knew who I represented before she even knew who I was. And in that moment, I really felt like, wow, like, God, thank you for allowing me to be that light in this school. Like, thank you for allowing me to be a representation of who you are, that when people see me, they can see you through me. They may not even know my name, but they know that I represent you, Jesus. And so that's the picture that I want us to get into our head. Wearing that Jesus jersey, that we want to be the best examples of Christians that we possibly can be. So that even strangers can say, hey, you know what? I don't know who you are, but I know you must be a Christian because of the way you talk and the things that you say and the things that you do and the way you act. That you must be a Christian. I don't know who you are, but you must be a Christian. I think that's the coolest and the greatest compliment that you can ever receive. That people knowing that you're a Christian without even them knowing who you are. And so, I really want to encourage us to, again, to be good examples of a Christian, because people are always watching you. And you never know who you're going to inspire, who you're going to encourage, who you're going to motivate just by the way you live your life. And you never know, you may be leading people to Christ from a distance, that you may not even meet someone, but they might just be watching the way you act and go, hey, you know what? I wanna live my life like him. I wanna live my life like her. I wanna get to know Jesus because I love the way this person living life. I want that in my life. We may be leading people to Jesus without us even knowing. And so called to encourage us today, hey, let's be a good example of Christians. And let's practice, let's have that mindset to wear our Jesus jerseys. That we're living a life where people can see Jesus through who we are. Well, Called, I hope you enjoyed week 2's message of Letters to Leaders. But why don't we close our eyes, bow our heads as our house party leader closes you out in prayer.